So it's been a great year because Arsenal are struggling, Liverpool are doing fantastic. So it's really cheerful for me. Just first on Gary, a mentor, a friend. When I was involved in the ODP program, I coached Nicky for a couple of years, which was terrific, and got to know Gary really well. And I think the one thing that Bernie said, which really hits home, is he got things done. He's an icon, and I think he was an icon in the public image. This guy, Coach Roche, said to me, do I have to go to this thing on Saturday? We got a coaching school in Fullerton. I'm like, I think you better go because, you know, you got to go, right? You're in the Hall of Fame. So, but behind every great man, there's a great woman. And people don't realize coach education, whatever we do, we give up a lot of time. Celia, Justin, Amy, giving up hours of Sean's time. Obviously, I'm emotional because I came here in 1983. Apologize. I came here in 1983. I went to a soccer field and saw this raving lunatic coach. He was crazy. He was going on to the referees, and I'm thinking, man, this guy's cool. So it was when you were younger, like you were about 28. So that was 1983, and we've been best friends ever since. And what's he done? Well, what's he not done is probably what you'd say. He was the assistant men's coach at Cal Lutheran University for about 18 years. He was the head boys soccer coach at Buena High School for about 12 years. He was been a girls head coach at St. Bonaventura High School, college coach at Moore Park College for about 18 years. President of the Ventura Football Club, started the Ventura Football Club, coached at the Fusion, coached for the Olympic Development Program, won the national championship, which was so proud of him, with a young man called Christian Ramirez, who we should all remember just got called up to our national team. Christian was a Golden Boot winner, enjoyed playing for Sean. He worked with Region 4 ODP. And on the coaching education side, you know, he started, I believe, in about 81, so that's about 37 years. And I figured in the math part of it, he's probably taught over 400 courses, impacting, I would think, about 14,000 coaches, which would impact about 500,000 players. So when we talk about Gary and we talk about Sean, we talk about the impact and the legacy that they've given all of us. I'm sick of being called Sean, and he's sick of being called Steve, because we kind of hang out together a lot, and people come up and say, how you doing, Sean? I'm like, oh, okay, I'm fine, how are you? Because we're used to it. But it's a pleasure to call him a friend, and like I say, he is a national staff coach. He's my right-hand man in the coach program. We've got some challenges right now, which he's helping us with, and what can I say? I think he should come up and say some words, and he doesn't speak many words, but he will now. Coach Roche.
So, I'll use it, I just have to. Gary and I, in the last 4-5 years, used to meet, and occasionally we would have a really good meal at Philadelphia, Baltimore, and I was so fortunate to have those conversations. Of course, I knew of him and I knew him, but in the last 4 or 5 years, I really got a taste of the real Gary. For me to stand here, it's kind of uncomfortable, because I don't feel that what I do, which is I'm allowed to coach. I'm allowed to be with the sport that I love, and now I'm being awarded for that. I'm not sure that I can come to terms with the reasoning of that. The people's shoulders that I stand upon are the people that were the initial people. Norm and Ivy Jackson, who were the heart and soul of coaching education. A coach called Martin McGrogan, Laurie Abrahams, a coach Ian Woodhead. These are people that I have been mentored by, been inspired by. And I think that Norm and Ivy would be really pleased that we have continued the tradition that they built in those early years in the 70s and the 80s. They would be overwhelmed with the sentiments of the people that have stood up here before you. And I'm humbled by the width of Cal South and what they embrace, all in the name of soccer. The award should go to Cal South. The people, the children, the adults that gain something from coaching, as we saw, coaching humans, interacting with humans, sharing the joy of our sport. And it all happens with an organization that is a little bit like an iceberg. Because we have this magnificent array of soccer games and joy on the weekends, teams traveling all over the country. But below, there are groups of people that have been working and working to keep this thing to be alive and better and better. Fortunately, I've been able to have input from other states of the country, and you are in the elite state for all of the reasons that you have seen being shared here. Quality, sincerity, action men, people that make things happen, coaches with empathy for their players, the qualities of the teams, the players, the families that support them. The only reason, this is something that I very rarely ever say or talk about, the reason I got into coaching was I was told to go coach. Who by? My wife. I'm sure that most of us at that time, when our sons or our daughters get to that age and somebody needs a coach, you go. That was the beginning of a journey that I have reveled in. And then she was also supportive enough to take on all of the work that goes on in the wake of coaching. Looking after the family, bearing my mood swings. I am deeply honored. And even though I think of it now, I am even more moved and honored to be at this particular time with Gary. Because I feel as if there couldn't be anybody better to be presented with than that man of action. I thank Madam President, Derek, the board, for sure, Johnny, and the guy at the end. So, you know in the days, the days when your families are young and you're always busy? You go to that health food store, there's a whole bunch of them, big old arches on it, okay? Everybody goes there at some time. So lo and behold, this one, and I remember it, it was raining, of course. In Ventura, it rains more often sometimes. And there's this family at the counter. and they speak funny. So the wife and I realized that they were from the homeland, but a part of it that we don't usually go to, okay? From that day on, we became partners in this soccer coaching thing. I never thought that a Happy Meal had that kind of an implication. Thank you very much.
Obviously, just like the Archies and the Big Mac, well, we got to say to Celia, thank you for allowing us to steal him. And it was your bad luck that day that you said, go coach. I'm just joking. We've got some bouquet of flowers if you'd like to welcome him up. And please, behind everybody that does this is a family. And the family's important. The grandkids, everybody. So Celia, come on up and let's give them a big round of applause.